Good morning, Josh the driving instructor here. Welcome back. Today we're going to look at two really powerful tips that can help you when you're reversing, and it's really going to help you pass your driving test with every maneuver that you have to do. This is also a really powerful way of teaching someone how to reverse. So maybe you're a driving instructor or training to be a driving instructor, or a parent. This is a great way to get the messages across to encourage people to reverse correctly. But first, thank you very much to anyone that is thinking about joining the Patreon and thinking about supporting me. I really appreciate it. Straight onto the video. So the first thing we're going to have a look at, okay, I'm going to do it in a roundabout way because that gets you thinking and actually helps you remember it, okay? So when we're driving down the road, where do we tend to look? Well, we look out the windscreen, absolutely. But where else do we look? Well, we look in the mirrors, don't we? What would you say, about 5–10% of the time? Yeah, 5–10%. Great. Well, whenever I get a new learner, okay, 90–95% of those learners will always reverse. The first time they always reverse either looking ahead or looking in the central mirror. And I have to point out to them, you know, why would you look down the road 90–95% of the time, but then you wouldn't look behind you, okay? And that's the point. The point is wherever you're going, the direction you're going, that's the way you should be looking. So if we're reversing down the road, we actually need to be looking behind us between 90 and 95% of the time. And again, between 5 and 10% of the time is using our mirrors. Okay, and that way we can see exactly what's happening behind us at all times. And I actually mean pull your body round. You're absolutely fine using the hand, reversing with one hand on the wheel. That's perfectly normal, it's perfectly acceptable. And turning your whole body so you can see out of the whole of the back windscreen. Now, the question often arises, but what's wrong with that central mirror? And that's a good question. It's a good question. So we're looking at the central mirror. We can see very clearly out that back window. I can't argue, and that's a flat mirror, so it's, you know, equal distance. However, we can't see out the two side windows. So when I'm looking behind me here, okay, if I'm just half looking, I can see out of at least two windows. When I'm fully looking, I can see out of the corner of my eye, I can see three windows. So you could potentially say I have a 3 times better view when looking behind me than I do when I'm looking in the mirror. You can also move your body so you can see round the apex pillars a bit more on the boot. Okay, so you've even got an even better view out that back window, which I can't do on the mirror. So that is the first tip. Always looking behind you whenever you are reversing. And the second tip is to really get you to think about, you know, how long is that maneuver in the driving test, right? So your driving test is what, 35–40 minutes? All right, that works out at about 2,400 seconds. You're going to be able to do one maneuver. Let's say it's the pull over on the right or the forward bay park, all right? How long would you say approximately you're going to be reversing for on the driving test? I'd say if you're doing a pull over on the right, you're going to be reversing for about 5 seconds, maybe 3 to 5 seconds. So of that 35 to 40 minute driving test, the whole of your reversing for the rest of your life, the examiner is basing that on 5 seconds. I know if it was me and the rest of my reversing for my whole life was based on 5 seconds, I would make sure it was the best 5 seconds ever. And that's quite a powerful concept to think about, you know? If you put that into a percentage, it's around 0.2% of your driving test is reversing. So I guess the next question is, how do we actually do that 5 seconds reversing well? Well, the first part is easy because we've already talked about it, and that just involves looking behind you around 90–95% of the time, making decent observations, and 5–10% looking in your mirrors. And that counts for all of the maneuvers. The second tip is about control, okay? And a lot of people think the faster you do the maneuver, the better it makes you look. And that's not the case. The examiner does not want to see you parking how mum and dad throw it in B&M car park. So the slower you do the maneuver, the better chance you have at passing that maneuver and doing it well and impressing the examiner. Now that's it for my 2 tips, but I do have one more bonus tip to share with you. And again, this is just another way of thinking about the driving test in a more positive sense. And that is to remember, when you go for that driving test, you have got full marks, okay? The glass is actually full, not half full, not half empty, it is just full, okay? When that examiner gets in the car with you, you have full marks. All you have to do, You do not have to prove to that examiner that you can drive and get bonus marks. You just have to prove to the examiner that you are a safe driver so he doesn't take marks away from you. And often that's just a far better and easier way of looking at it in a more positive light than thinking the glass is half empty. It's actually completely full. If that helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon.